Um, I don't think we've got a countdown here. It's difficult because I can't see. Great. Okay, good morning and welcome to the Redcar Cleveland Business Network. We were just working out a few technical things here in the background, and I think we've got everything kind of like up to speed here at the moment. I've got just some notes with me. I am all organised, but I need all my notes in front of me. Okay, so my name's Darren Winter, and with Karen King, we're volunteer co-managers of the Redcar and Cleveland Business Network. If this is your first time watching, the Business Network was established as a regular meeting where business owners like yourself can meet other business people to share best practice, advice, and it provides a forum to offer business advice and guidance from guest speakers. For a few years now, we've held monthly face-to-face meetings, but for the moment, we're replicating experience as best as possible online with a live multi-channel stream. So we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're not already following us on Twitter and YouTube, please just have a search for Redcar and Cleveland Business Network on YouTube. Just give us a follow and a like there, and you'll see you'll find us on Twitter as well at BizNetworkRC. And if you just tag us in, if you're on Twitter and on Facebook, we'll share your social media posts for free. So if you've got some news that you want us to mention, then please let us know. Thank you also to Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council, who we work in partnership with. And a big thanks to our sponsor, Bead Financial in Mask, who sponsor our website, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. So if you've not looked at the website, please have a look at the website. And it's a good way to get in contact with us as well. I'm just going to run through today's agenda. I know that people are still sort of coming in to the meeting as we're talking. And if you're watching this again, then I'm just going to run through how today's going to be structured. So for those who previously attended our real life events, where we usually have like 50 or 60 people in the rooms, we usually invite everyone to stand up and give a 15-second elevator pitch about the business. So we know who's in the room and we know who we can network with. But in these live sessions, we're just going to ask you just to introduce yourself and the name of your business. Just pop them in the comments below if you're on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you're on Twitter, just send us a message. We're going to read them out, but please don't share anything that you don't want to be made public, because obviously this is being recorded and will be shown again. I'm going to cover a few headlines then to cover before we introduce our guests. Speaking today, we should have Sue Beverley from Department of International Trade Northeast, but I don't think she's quite connected with us at the moment, but I do have her slides. So we'll still cover those anyway, because there's some really great opportunities there if you're looking to grow your business overseas. And we do have Scott Watson and David Dixon from Digital City, who are going to be talking through the workshops and digital business supports on offer for local businesses. And we've also got Michael Spain from the business growth team at Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council, and he's just going to give us a couple of one-liners about Brexit, and also just about Rishi Sunak's announcement yesterday for business support for retail business and hospitality, retail, leisure and hospitality. We're happy to take your questions today. It's a live event, so if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just leave them in the comments below the video for our guest speakers. We'll pick them up. And again, if you're on Twitter, just send us a tweet. Matt's in the background. He's had his coffee and he's busy monitoring the channels, and he's ready to pick them up. We're aiming to wrap up no later really than 8:30. Usually we finish at probably about sort of 8:15, 10:08. So it may finish a little bit earlier, but I say if we've got lots of questions, then we might just go on a little bit further. And so that's what today's agenda looks like. And if you just joined us and missed the beginning, please let us know the name, your name and the name of your business in the comments below on Facebook. And then I'm just going to read them out shortly. So if you just joined us, please let us know that you're here, and then I'll read them out. But whilst you're doing that, we've just got a few headlines that I'd just like to cover. And I'm just going to bring in Michael here. So Michael, I think everybody can hear you. Morning, Michael.
Morning, everyone.
So Michael, just introduce yourself and what do you do?
Okay, well, my name's Michael Spain. I work as part of the business growth team at Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council. My principal remit is issues around the EU transition. I'll say a little bit about that in a minute. But for the last couple of months, we've been the whole team and others have been working literally around the clock, administering the COVID money from central government. So I'll say a tiny little bit about that as well. So we're really working. I think it's the hardest I've ever worked. I'm really tight actually. So we're working on that at the moment, and as you can imagine, there's a lot to do on that. So would you like me to just say a little bit more, Darren, on that?
I mean, Rishi Sunak's announcement came out yesterday for funding for retail, leisure, and the hospitality, and no doubt people are looking to try and get their hands on that money. How does it work, Michael?
Well, the reality of the situation, Darren, is obviously the announcement's been made, so we know that new money is in the pipeline, and people will have heard it on the news, read it in the media. I believe it's 4.6 billion additional money to come through the grants system that local authorities are administering. That's I believe in England at the moment, plus an additional 94 million. So 4.6 billion plus 594 million for discretionary money that will be distributed to local authorities. So the reality at the moment is that we're waiting for guidance on that. So kind of people like myself on the ground, I don't have any further information. My guess would be that there are people, civil servants, are probably working with local government at the minute, just looking at the detail, how that's going to work in practice, whether it's going to be similar to the systems that are already in place. I guess it will be to some extent, or whether there will be new systems in place. So at the moment, I don't know whether businesses will need to reapply for money, or whether if they're already in the system, whether they will get sort of knock-on payments. So my advice has been to businesses that I've been speaking to over the last couple of days is keep listening to the news, but do check the Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council website, and there will be updates on there. As soon as the information has been made available to us, we will share that with businesses and other partners. So there's not really anything else I can say on that without really speculating, to be honest. So if that's okay, Darren. The other thing, the Brexit or the EU transition, people will know that a deal is now in place. A free trade agreement is now in place. There is I think it's 1,254 pages. The information is available on the website. If anyone, I've not read the full document yet myself. I honestly haven't had time yet, but it does look quite a hell of a read. So I'm not necessarily recommending it. There is I think it's a 34-page summary, which is probably more readable. Or there are various summaries you can Google from. There's a good one from the BBC. So it's quite a detailed document there. In simple terms, there are no tariff charges in place. That's the good news. But as we've been told, there is additional new sort of red tape and paperwork in place. So it is different. There is an agreement in place, but quite clearly that there is there's a whole load of rules, regulations, and paperwork now in place that businesses will need to sort of adhere to. So it is I suppose it depends on your point of view. Those people that were not in favour of leaving the EU are saying that it's not a good deal. Others are saying it is a good deal. So again, I suppose it's more down to the politics rather than the economics. My own gut thing on this, it's probably not the end of this. Sorry, Darren, did you say
No,
something?
no, that's it. Sorry, carry on. So I'm just doing stuff in the background. Don't carry on, Michael.
Okay. Yeah, my own gut feeling on this, it probably won't be the end of it. I think that there will be additional sort of changes and tweaks, probably that will take place over a number of years. But the long wait is over. The free trade agreement is now in place, and people are talking about this as they're using the term a Canada style agreement, which I suppose in simple terms it is. It mainly does affect goods that are manufactured goods that are traded, so physical goods that can be sort of transported. There are some, if you like, there's more work probably to be done on services and financial services, that kind of thing. So as I say, I don't think it'll be the end of this. This will probably go on for years as there be various changes and tweaks, but the basis of the free trade agreement is in place now.
That's great. So if any businesses have got questions about Brexit and maybe understanding some more of the kind of the new changes, I'll put the address of the business growth team on the screen there. Yeah. So are they able just to email you?
Yeah.
Email address?
Yeah, but by all means, if people want to get in touch with myself, please do so. Get in touch with me. But as ever, the place, and it is a very good website. Actually, I'm sure it's where most people have been going. The one that's been advertised in the media in recent weeks. Gov.uk/transition website. I've just checked it. It's still there. It's been updated. And that's the place to go. And not just for people who are in business that are trading with the EU, but there's information on there on things like travel and so on. So it's a website that can be used by the general public, just to find, people going on holiday, that kind of thing. It's got additional sort of information on things and things like the European health card, that kind of thing. That there's information on there as well. So.
That's really helpful. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. And I'll just put that web link just on the screen there as well. And as Michael said, that there is funding coming through from central government, from Rishi Sunak for leisure, retail and hospitality. Just going to take a little bit of time because it always does these things following announcements. But if you do look at the website, redcar-cleveland.gov.uk, I checked it this morning. There is a whole section on the bottom of the website for local restrictions, business support grants. So it will come on there. So as with all the councils, they all get the money roughly about the same time. But otherwise, if you've got any questions at all about kind of business support across Redcar and Cleveland, then do get in contact with the business growth team. Put the details back on the screen again there for you. The email address is there. They have a really good Twitter account. So always telling you about what's happening for business across the county. And again, if you tag them into your business news, I'm sure they'll be happy to retweet that as well. Thanks very much, Michael. I know you're in the background, so we might bring you in a bit later as well.
Right. Thanks, Darren.
Just moving on, just a few other things I just wanted to talk about. Tees Valley Business is also a really great place that you can visit to have a look at their website about kind of business support. I have got their website address here, so I've got so many captions really put on the screen. So Tees Valley Business, that's their website address. Do look them up. They have, sometimes they've got announcements on there about funding, sometimes they don't. But it's just, if you haven't registered before, it's definitely worth registering with them. Because they will sort of make contact with you to book an appointment, understand your business, and then talk through some of the funding available. And there are lots of different pots. It's not just one or two. There are lots of different things, and every single business is different. So it definitely is worth speaking to them as well as the business growth team. One other, or a couple of other people that can provide some great support. I know Howard's on the call today from Federation of Small Businesses, but they have a really fantastic weekly networking group on Tuesday and on Thursday. That's, I think, starting from next week. Sorry, Howard, if yours starts today. Let us know, Howard, if yours is today. If it's next Tuesday. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? I'm losing track of the days. But yeah, they've had some great networking events. They are free to join. You don't need to be a member of the FSB to join these events. You get to meet other like-minded small businesses. It does help if you join because there's some fantastic benefits, and we covered those. If you don't know about the benefits of the FSB, do have a look at one of our videos from last year, from September, October time, and Howard was a guest then and talked through all the benefits. It's not a lot of money, but it can actually save you a fortune on different things you need to do for your business. But otherwise, if you just want to join for the network events, just meet some people online in this area and outside your area across the Northeast, have a look at that web address, search for Tees Valley, Teesside, Darlington, those types of areas, and then you'll get to see a couple of options there. And just give them a go. They run on Zoom, so they're free to join. So do have a look at those. Another one that I just want to kind of bring up here. At the moment, everybody's feeling a little bit down, and we're not in the same mode as we were last January when we were all kind of like raring to go. Things are very different this year, and there are lots of different concerns and worries as business owners and just as individuals for all sorts of reasons. And it is okay to feel, not tip top every single day and raring to go, but it is also just important to point out there is support out there. So I've just put the details on there for Mind, which is based in Redcar. There are other offices across Teesside as well, but Redcar is our closest one in this area. We have website addresses there, and there's a telephone number as well. I haven't checked this morning, but I know before Christmas there was online chat support, but I think it was just running sort of 4 or 5 days a week. So it's definitely worth taking advantage of that if you feel that's going to be of benefit for you. It definitely is good to talk. So if you don't make use of the help from the council or from Tees Valley Business or from our guest Digital City, who we're going to talk to in a minute, then use these types of services as well. It's absolutely fine to do that. One other point about funding and grants. A couple of people that I know said they haven't claimed the funding yet from, or claimed sorts of different funding, and they haven't claimed the bounce back loan yet. So please check your eligibility and just go to the government website to check to see if you're eligible for these. But do take advantage of them. The bounce back loan is available until March, 31st of March. Just look this morning. So if you're not taking advantage of it and you're eligible, then if it's going to be a benefit to your business, then take it. It is repayable. But if it's going to help you in the short term, then do it. There's no shame about using this help and support there. We can't do everything ourselves. That's why this help and support is being put on offer. So please take advantage of that. And if you don't know what you're entitled to, or you just want to have another check, again, go back to, you can either go have a look at the government website for yourself that goes through quite clearly the different steps and the eligibility criteria, or if it's just sometimes too much to take in, do go and speak to the business growth team at the local council, Redcar Cleveland Council, and I'll put those details up there again just now. So do speak to them. They will go through as much as they can with you to understand what grants and potential funding that you might be available to you, and also things that are coming up as well, because I'm only talking about what I know today, but there will be other things coming in the pipeline later this year that the team might know about, or historically that might happen at different times. So it's definitely worthwhile speaking to them, because you never know what you might pick up. I'm going to bring in our guests who've been kind of waiting very patiently in the background here. So I'm just going to bring in Scott Watson and David Dixon from Digital City. Good morning to you both.
Morning, Darren. You all right?
Doing well, thank you. And how are you both doing?
Really good. Yeah, we had a very busy 2020. We're expecting this next year to be incredibly busy as well.
And we're also wearing the same shirt.
And it wasn't planned.
Right, I'm going to share this presentation that you're going to go through with us about Digital City. So let's just get this up here for you. That's the one. Excellent. So hopefully, is that appearing on people's screens?
Not yet, Darren.
I'm just going to wait for Matt in the background just to see. Can you give us a nod? It looks like it is appearing on my screen, but maybe not on others. No, so it's not sharing. Okay, that's right. Okay, let's try it another way. We did rehearse this before, and it was working. Let's just try. Right, here we go. I'm going to share my whole screen instead.
Yeah, you can see that, Darren.
And then let's play from the start. Okay, and then just let us know, Scott, as in when you want us to move on.
Will do. Okay, thanks very much, Darren. Hello, everybody. I'm Scott Watson. I'm joined by my colleague, David Dixon. In our roles as sector growth managers, we make up 2/3 of Digital City's business-facing team. And we work with a wide variety of digital and non-digital businesses across the Tees Valley. This, of course, includes working with Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council. They have an excellent working relationship with the team, who refer inquiries our way when they establish that there is a digital need during their diagnostics with the businesses on their doorstep. And this includes those from digital enterprises who can access our programs, which we're going to talk through in a moment, to more traditional businesses who are interested in preparing for the future by embracing digital technology and new ways of working. So in recent years, our work with traditional businesses has expanded to make up about 2/3 of the work we do in Digital City. We enjoy it, we're good at it, and the work we and our team of consultants are doing is having a real impact within the Tees Valley. I'm going to hand over for the next slide, Darren, to David, who's going to talk us through the history, through the structure of Digital City, and then through the history of our inception from the early 2000s.
Morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. So thank you for the invite. I guess that what we need to do is set the scene of what is Digital City, who are we, where were we birthed from. We go back around 20 years now, so pretty much 2001, 2, 3 was when it was first sort of conceived and brought to life. And it's a Teesside University owned brand. It was something that the university, a couple of senior people realised that we were creating. We have a school of computing that's been around probably one of the longest in the country, and we're creating a hell of a lot of talent to go out into the employment market space. But what we didn't really sort of do was keep hold of that talent locally and help them become self-employed. So Digital City really was birthed to help some of these young people stay on Teesside and give them a soft landing when it came to starting the business. And we had the graduate business units, which is now called Launchpad, to provide a home for them. Digital City is quite a complex beast as well in terms of how it's managed. You guys will never see that, but fundamentally, I guess the most important thing, as far as you're concerned, is we're aligned with the combined authority. We're aligned, therefore, with each individual local authority, hence why we're here today. And we're also aligned with the likes of the FSB and the Chamber as well. We've got a board structure in place, which is now lean and mean, but equally, it still feeds into all of these other support organisations. And with that, we just want to make sure that we don't step on other people's toes, but also where there's potential for referrals, we get that right as well. Scott already mentioned we've got 3 people internally that you'll come across face to face on a day-by-day basis. But behind that, we've got a team of support. So we've got Michelle, Cheryl, and Lindsay, and also Hannah as well, in the background, helping us both with the admin side, but also strategically as well, taking the project forward. In terms of the external team, we don't technically, me, Scott, and Martin don't deliver on a technical level, albeit Martin is an expert in that field, and he's got an amazing background of working with some of the region's biggest, Psych being one of them, on the back end side of things. So he's got a massive experience there. But we tend to do diagnostic work and understand business first and foremost and match a solution to it. And that solution could come internal from academic staff, or it could come external from a team. And we've got a couple of organisations that we'll bring in acting under the Digital City banner, but fundamentally they are external. Next slide, please. Sound like Chris Whitty there. So I guess just in terms of, I suppose, the background and a bit of, I suppose, it's more trivia than anything else, but we predate any of those brands that are on the page now. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we have the effect on the planet of what these brands have had, but in truth, we've been around for a long period of time. We've been a regional organisation. There's been points where we've been national to an extent and been very close to being a very national organisation, but for whatever reason, the university or the other organisations involved decided it wasn't quite for us at that point. And I guess this slide just illustrates that we're relevant, and we've been relevant for 20 years. We're still relevant now, and Scott mentioned we're moving into different ways of working with people. But the core of who we are and what we do is tech, digital, and creative businesses and helping them start and grow. Next one, please. Some of the clients that we've worked with, I won't go into too much detail, but the two that stand out at the moment is TransferGo, that have recently taken on 60 million investment. Unfortunately, we didn't keep them in the area. They went down to London, which is understandable. It's a fintech company, and London is the fintech capital of the world. But they're 60 million, and they were birthed up here on the what was the fellowship program, or now is the accelerator program that Scott runs. So it's a really good success story. We've got CodeSync that have recently sold for 28 million quid, which could rise to about 70 million quid with a whole load of metrics hit in the next 3 to 5 years. And again, that company was birthed right here on Teesside. A bit more of a steady business at the moment is Animersion, but that doesn't mean to say it's any less relevant. It's a $1 million+ turnover, employs a significant number of local people, mainly graduates, still based in Middlesbrough, working at the bleeding edge in terms of AR and VR technology. And the other one I would mention is Graphically. They were a company that when I used to work at Business Link, I helped set up, and a guy called Kevin Mann. And Graphically was set up really to show comics on a tablet device before tablet devices were a thing. And Steve Ballmer from Microsoft actually showed the very first tablet on the Consumer Electric Show. I think it was in 2006, before Apple had come out with it. It just so happens that Apple are better at marketing than what Microsoft were at that point. So Kevin's product was actually shown on stage by Steve Ballmer. So it was quite a coup, really, and quite a feat for him. And on the back of that, he got 2.3 million investment, which back in 2003, 4, 5, something like that, was huge, really. And he was being flown from East Coast to West Coast as well. DC and Marvel were fighting over him. It was quite an interesting ride. So we've got some huge impact, as well as some of the small stuff as well. But obviously, you're gonna sing and dance about the big ones, aren't you? Next one. So I guess in terms of who we are and what we do, I'll hand over to Scott in a second. But broadly, Scott already mentioned we do two things. We help tech, digital, and creative businesses to grow. There's a number of ways we do that, which we'll talk about in a second. And we also help on the digital transformation side of things. And I think the digital transformation is probably a word that's overused, if I'm being honest. Transformation it usually means something big, but actually for a lot of businesses, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be a piece of code that sits on a website. It can be an addition page to a website, or it could be something very complex like AI and everything in between. And we're here really to help you decipher what that looks like. We get to understand your business, who you are, what you do, what your markets are, what your future markets are. And then what we'll do is understand what your hopes, dreams, and aspirations are, mix all that together and come up with a solution and get some free support in. I don't know whether you want to take over now, Scott.
In terms of Accelerator, David, I think what we'll do is we're going to give some examples, some case studies, some of the projects that we've worked on from a digital transformation side a bit later on in this presentation. So in terms of the sort of support for digital businesses, we run two programs, one of which is the Digital City Accelerator program, which I manage, and the Scale Up program, which David manages for more established digital companies who are wanting to expand, maybe take on investment, develop new products and services, and just need that help to take them to the next level. But in terms of the Accelerator program, part of my role involves managing the Accelerator program. And we've been delivering Accelerator programs again in one form or another since the early 2000s. So the current Accelerator program, it's a unique 8-week program which we deliver over 10 weeks. It's aimed at Tees Valley-based digital and tech businesses and been trading up to 18 months. It offers a program of workshops including design thinking, customer development, law and IP, raising finance for those seeking further funding or investment. Essentially anything, we cover everything that is needed for an early stage digital business to thrive and grow. We create a really inspiring, we like to think, energetic environment for those to do that. We offer bespoke one-to-one mentoring. It's provided by ourselves and our delivery partner, SME Centre of Excellence. Plus, there is a business development grant of up to £5,000. Of course, the programme, like the Scale programme, is normally delivered face-to-face, but we've delivered 3 programmes entirely online to 21 businesses since the March 2020 lockdown. While historically we've had a bit of a track record of working with a largely young male demographic made up of tech developers, programmers, animators and games companies, things have changed in recent years as every sector's embraced digital technology. So increasingly the businesses we support are offering digital solutions to wider sector problems, and those sectors include health, heavy industry, logistics, construction, education and more. And what's been great the last couple of years as well, we've seen a real increase in the number of female entrepreneurs founding digital companies in the Tees Valley. So in the last year alone, we've worked with Redcar and Cleveland-based female-led businesses such as United Food Academy, who offer online food handling training, Holistic Academy Network, who provide digital health and well-being activities. And while they operate in Middlesbrough, Redcar residents Wonder Films are also part of our recent alumni. We're currently calling for applications for the next programme. It's going to commence on the 24th of February. And we'd welcome proposals from any digital tech entrepreneurs who are joining us this morning. And of course, we'd appreciate your help in promoting the programme if your role involves speaking to such businesses. Back to you, David.
Thank you. Yeah, just a quick one on. So the Scale programme, in effect, is the bigger brother of the Accelerator programme, broadly following the same content. But we operate with a customer base that typically, but not always exclusively, is 3 to 5 years into trade. Companies that are probably still single owner managed, and probably that single owner manager has got to the point where they've reached the capacity point thinking there's a world of opportunity in front of me, but I have no idea now how to get the time to allow me to execute on it, and also where do I get the money from to allow me to pay for argument's sake, the infrastructure. That could be people or it could be other resources to allow them to execute. So the Scale programme was really born from a number of books that I read a few years ago now, and the first book was Scaling Up by Vern Harnish, and the other one was Venture Deals by Brad Feld. And both those books are brilliant reads if you're interested in tech and growth and financing that growth. But the underpinning message with the Scaling Up book is that the business is focused, really any business is focused on people, strategy, execution and cash. And I added my own bits on the front end of that relating to design thinking, because I'm a great believer in innovation and creativity being at the front end of everything that any business should do. So we really kick off the whole sessions with a very active session, getting everybody involved. It's peer-to-peer, similar to the Accelerator programme. And something that we're proud that we've created, and the 2 programs very much align with each other. There's no money side of the Scale program, so it literally is the value of the program. And both programs are worth about £12,000 in their own right to companies, and therefore it's got a huge value locally. But because it's free, people sometimes don't necessarily always recognise that as having that value. But it's certainly worth mentioning. And the impact it's had has been huge. We've changed people's lives on the back of this program, as Scott has with the Accelerator too. So these aren't just programs that we sit and just forget about. We get immersed in them. We truly believe in them, and we're there to facilitate discussions. And everything that we do on the Scale program in particular is, yes, we follow a program, but actually it's quite organic. So wherever the natural mood of the room goes, we take it in that direction, because actually that's the right thing to do. As long as we're not talking about the weather or something irrelevant, of course. But if there's 12 people talking in a room about finance, but on that particular session we're meant to be talking about something relating to marketing, we'll go with it. We'll also get guest speakers in as well. So we've had a ridiculous number of guest speakers. So the guys from TransferGo I mentioned earlier on, we've had them do an hour slot. We've had Rich Bendelow from ex-Visualsoft. I've had a guy from the US doing this, a couple of guys from the US doing this, a lot from a couple of big tech companies over there. We reach out far and wide for some real strong expertise and delivering, and importantly, people that have been there, done it, and possibly failed as well. I think next slide.
So yeah, this relates to the sort of there's a combination of data on this particular slide. Excuse me one moment, my phone is just going.
Just I'll take over quickly. So I've already mentioned the scale program. I won't do that again. But what's really interesting is the number of companies we've had an impact with over the last sort of 3-4 years. And I won't say directly correlates to me and Scott Starton, but directly correlates to me and Scott Starton, I think. In terms of the reach that we've had with companies that they don't always sit inside of the bubble that is digital creative. We've gone further and wider to companies that typically wouldn't even take on public sector support, and I think it's really interesting, and also it's really important that we reach out to those companies and share some of this public sector money that's swirling around with companies that sometimes think it's not for us. And yes, it does require a little bit of animation, so we run some workshops or awareness workshops to get people engaged. But when we do get them engaged, we have impact, and we've got a hell of a lot of really, really strong, good stories out there.
Next slide, please, Darren. So I guess this is just to demonstrate the impact that we had during the lockdown of last year. And as I said at the top of the presentation, I think it's probably the busiest year ever in Digital City, and a bit like Michael, I don't think we've ever worked as hard in Digital City. So we delivered the 3 accelerator programs. There was a scale program that David delivered successfully. We did a lot of additional support as well. I think it was really key for us not just to be, just running things as was, and really adding a bit more value. We felt we needed to add a bit more value to the businesses that we were engaging with. So we supported a lot of bids and tenders, from the point of identifying opportunities to actually getting involved in writing the bids, and we're able to bring in quite a bit of funding for the companies, as you can see on the bottom a bullet point there, for the businesses that we were working with. We also speaking on a regular basis with the companies in our circles and responding to survey data. We also ran a number of workshops, and they included a workshop in app development. We did some digital tools and best practice around remote work, and we also did some digital marketing and e-commerce stuff as well. So as I say, 2020, extremely busy year for us, but enjoyable too, I would say, David.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing we've done is it's another workshop, but it's a bit more in depth. It's kind of the halfway house between the scale program and the workshops is the investor readiness program, and that's for companies that are looking to grow but recognize that to grow they're going to need some money putting into the business. And we don't just explore the selling of shares, we also explore the bank loan side of things. We explore the opportunities for grants. So anything that we can do to help almost pump prime the business's growth, we look at. It isn't just about, well, come here and we'll tell you how to sell your shares. Yes, that might be part of the mix, and we'll get the British Business Bank in, and we'll also get some private investors in to help talk about the pros and the cons of doing so. And people are then much more informed about whether that sort of thing is right for them or not.
Next slide, please, Darren. So I guess just to give you an example of some of the bespoke projects that we offer, both digital and non-digital companies within our within the projects that we're delivering. So we loosely deliver, as you can see on the left, in those particular areas around supporting web and mobile development, doing tech audits. People have an idea or a piece of tech that they need some support or validation with. David's done a lot more systems integration projects than I have, working with some of the big local manufacturing companies. And we also offer a market research service as well for any companies who are wanting to explore opportunities in new territories. But I was going to pull out, so in terms of the technology audit, one of the projects that I managed was for Hospitality Guaranteed, who some of you may be aware of. They're a Wynyard-based business that started out as a traditional events management business in 2006. In recent years, it's become a specialist in the education, training and education sector. And this role involves offering admin services to help companies manage their apprentice programs. As more of this work's becoming the digital domain, the business has actually established its own in-house software development team, created a formidable management system that automates a lot of the processes. Now, this system was initially in the form of a web-based platform, and in order to ensure that it worked before it was rolled out to its clients, our consultants carried out a technology audit where essentially they went under the bonnet, checked that the code being used was technically sound, scalable for multiple users, and that it met safeguarding and data compliances such as GDPR. The project also included a future-proofing exercise where it was advised that a mobile app or phone-friendly version was essential due to young people managing their lives from the phones and tablets these days. Of course, apps aren't cheap, and part of our support included identifying sources of funding that would assist the business with the development. So moving forward, we supported the business with a successful bid to the Combined Authorities Collaborative Networks Fund, and that's helped it to build a mobile app version. We're currently offering further technical support. This includes ensuring the migration to the mobile app is technically sound, that it's scalable, and it's robust in terms of cyber security, and it meets GDPR compliance and all the stuff around safeguarding issues for the young people that are involved. And this app's been launched at the end of this month. Over to you, David.
Yeah, just a couple of quick ones from me. We've got Industrial Solutions there on system integration, and first met them, I think they're still a Redcar and Cleveland company, if I remember rightly. We first met them about 18 months ago, and what they had is pretty much a load of systems that were helping support both internally, but also delivery externally as well, but they weren't necessarily connected. So what we were looking to do, or what we did do, is understand that they wanted more connection between the systems that they had from the customer-facing side of things, as well as the operational and finance modules. So we got an expert in that helped the company understand how to do that, the process of doing it, the cost of doing it, and whether there was a bespoke solution or whether there was an off-the-shelf solution. And we in effect, what we do is we give companies the ability to make a decision, a much more informed decision. And at that point, if I remember rightly, albeit a few projects ago now, I think we went down the bespoke route on balance. And the company that came in that did the audit ended up, I think, doing the work for for Industrial. And that was a significant project as well. We're talking about tens of thousands of pounds, but there's a certain, is there ever a certainty? There's definitely more of a certainty that what you're going to do is right by working with us, because you're going to get 2 to 5 days free support. And at the end of that support, you're almost going to be guaranteed, this is how much it's going to be costing. These are the benefits of doing it. Here's the risks. And ultimately there are the rewards and the likely rewards over what period of time. So there's a lot more certainty by working with us. And another company which is based over in East Cleveland is Tees Components. And again, that same company that came in to support Industrial actually helped Tees Components. And I'm sure most of you will know, listening, Tees Components are quite a traditional business over in East Cleveland, but a significant employer and a significant wealth generator in that area as well. And what they do is very machine based. What we were looking to do is, how do we get more information to the management team quicker in terms of the machines, the production value of the machines? Are they beginning to fail? And one of the key success areas that Sean was looking at was making sure that if a machine went off, they weren't down for 3 months. And some of these machines that they've got are quite difficult to repair because they're that old or just that complex. And ideally, what she wanted was more information about that machine is probably not quite in the right shape. So should we get somebody in to repair it and take it offline for 2 days rather than 3 months? Unfortunately, the infrastructure that's in place over in East Cleveland means that the broadband connection isn't as strong as what it should and could be to support Internet of Things devices to allow that. But fundamentally, if you can imagine on a machine, there's vibrations happen all of the time. and you can measure the vibrations and say, okay, that's in the tolerances of what has been normal. Now, you wouldn't want to human hand or eye to monitor that on a continual 24/7 basis, but a machine can do that, and you can have some software working in the background that spots an anomaly. And when it spots that anomaly, it then can raise a profile and probably automate a ticket to the repair organization to say, we've reached this anomaly, can you come out and do some sort of proactive repair on it? And it's something that's quite simple, but equally it's massively mission critical to companies, and particularly these components. So that's kind of the type of work we do. It's not, it's not huge, complex sending rockets to moons, but what it does do is it gives surety, it gives certainty, and it gives organizations the ability to explore digital in a very cheap, quite often free way.
Thanks, David. And I think that's our presentation done now. I think it's just, we've just got some nice testimonials from some of the businesses that we've been working with the last couple of years. Really pleased that we've got the Project Escape guys on the call this morning. Project Escape came through Accelerator about 3 years ago now. And honestly, they're sort of the way that they've grown has been absolutely fantastic. They started off in a small unit. They're an escape room business. Started off in a small unit in Launchpad, the graduate business unit in Teesside University. Ended up moving out of there because they got so busy into a large space in Dundas Arcade in Middlesbrough. And I believe they're expanding further. So it's just amazing to see how that business has grown exponentially since working with us. And obviously, it's not all down to us. The guys are fantastic at what they do, but it's just really good that we were able to support them in the early stages of the business. Our contact details are here. Thanks for sharing those, Darren. We're happy to take any questions, or if anybody wants to give us to give them a call later, we're happy to do
that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It's a fantastic presentation. I'm just going to take that off there and bring us back. Yeah, really, really comprehensive. And like you say, it's great. I know that we have got Nick from Project Escape. I haven't run through everybody that's on the call yet. But I know he's on today, and I know he talks very highly about Digital City. And myself, and I haven't done the full program, but Duke Digital, we started not from the very beginning, but kind of a good sort of 6-7 months into our business a couple of years ago. We took advantage of some of the support there. So I would definitely advocate anybody that has got a business out there up to 18 months, wasn't it, that has to be
correct?
Yeah. So
correct.
up to 18 months, definitely go and speak to the guys at Digital City to see where you can benefit from. And digital, as you all know, I always keep banging on about digital, and we need to do more in Redcar and Cleveland as business owners to leverage the benefits of digital. Certainly at the moment, the climate, that's all that pretty much that we can be doing to kind of like support our businesses. I'm just going to go run through the comments here. Has anybody got any questions that they'd like to ask Scott and David? I've got a comment here from Project Escape that they went through Digital City not thinking that they'd qualify after meeting Scott at the network event, but it was really invaluable to their startup. So that's a really nice comment from Nick and the team there. And then Kath Jarrod from Dog Score. This is interesting. Is you only think digital information is only for digital only businesses? That's an interesting comment, Kath. Yeah, I don't know if you want to pick up on that comment, Scott and David, that, Kath here is saying that, people sometimes think digital support is only aimed at digital businesses, but it's not, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, I think as we alluded to during the presentation, about 2/3 of the businesses that we work with now are non-digital. But basically, if there is a digital need, a digital requirement, we can work with anybody, Darren, and we love doing it. We love helping businesses solve problems. That's what we're here to do, essentially. So in terms of Yes, if to qualify for accelerator and for scale, you do need to be a digital business. But if you're a non-digital company, but you have a digital requirement, you know, we're certainly the people to speak to on your doorstep.
That's brilliant, and you can definitely hear the passion from both of you from the presentation. It's probably one of the best presentations that we've had on the Business Network, and we've been in this for 4 years. We had some real crackers, and that was definitely one of them. So Kath says that she'd definitely be interested in talking to you. So we've got your contact details, so we'll paste those in the comments below. And if you're watching this again, obviously you can just go back through the video and you can just see those details, but we will put them in the comments again if you didn't pick them up the first time around. And in fact, Scott, if you've got, or David, if you've got them in front of you, do you want to read them out?
Just before we do, what I would say is that just to reiterate that message again, and I think it's worth reiterating again, that we love exploring opportunity with any business that's out there. And in truth, even if you come to us and we can't help you, I guarantee we'll be able to put you in touch with somebody that will. So if you use us as a signposting service, first and foremost, there's a 90% chance we're going to be able to help you. And even if there's a slight chance that we can't, I can pretty much guarantee 9% of the time that we can refer you on to somebody that can help, whether that's somebody that's in the network of Digital City or in our own personal networks. So just use us. Just, you know, even if you think, oh, I wonder if they could help with that, or I wonder if they could do this, I can pretty much say that the university will be able to help even if we can't.
That's fabulous. I can't see any other sort of questions coming through, but sometimes we get them after the event there. And Matt's just put in the comments now the email address. So just email info@thedigitalcity.com, and that'll reach the team, and then they'll come back to you to discuss a bit more, maybe get an appointment with you as well. And Kath, yeah, sounds positive. Kath, I think you'll definitely benefit from having a chat with the team there. You've got some really great ideas. The website is also thedigitalcity.com. So definitely have a look at the website. It's a really good website. I was looking at that over the last couple of weeks. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate the time you've given up this morning, getting up so early.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Darren.
It's no godly hour for me, I must admit. I hate morning.
So what we'll do, I think it would be really great to bring you back later on this year, both of you. I think because people kind of come and join this. They sometimes come and join like a meeting, 1 month, and then maybe like miss a couple and then come back again. But I think it was such a fantastic presentation. I think it would be great to have you back in maybe the autumn time, maybe September time. People start thinking about things about the business, and the landscape would have maybe hopefully moved on a bit more positively in terms of business. So I think that might be great to bring you back if you'd like to come back again.
Absolutely.
I did promise I'm going to read through who's in the room, and let me just I'll just pop you off here. And Howard, morning Howard Little, he's the rep for FSB in this area. So morning guys, and happy new year to you. Andy Mogg, good morning Andy, nice to see you here, thank you very much. Carol Watkins, morning, happy new year to you as well. Andy's from Lemon Top Creative, recently launched Lemon Top Gin. Yep, we've definitely, well, I've seen you a lot in the local press, Andy, over the last couple of weeks, and congratulations to you on your business as well. It would be great, actually, Andy, for you to come in and have a chat about what you've done. Maybe do like a small presentation as well. So if you're up for that, let me know, because it'd be great to have you. And that's the same for all your businesses that are here now. If you'd love to talk about your business, what you've been doing, how you're coping with the pandemic as well. We are looking for guest speakers to come in. If you've never guest spoken before, it really is, you don't even have to have a presentation. We can just do it as a Q&A. I'll make it as easy as I can. If you want me to do a pre-record, I'll even do that for you, so you don't have to do the live side. But I think it'd just be great to hear more from local businesses about, you know, what you do with your business, how you've grown it, and how you're coping with some of the challenges and situations. And kind of share that advice, and this is what this group is all about. Morning, Nick from Project Escape. Yep, we chatted with you, and it's great to let you hear, and great to hear from you. Morning, Nick. Great to have you here from Redcar Cleveland Mind, and thank you so much for your really valuable service as well. And Nick, again, it would be good to get you as a speaker at some point. I think it'd be nice to hear from you a bit more of what we're Redcar Cleveland Mind are doing in the local area, and how people can kind of take advantage of that service or get involved. Morning to Just Like Home Interiors. Morning, Helen. Nice to have you here. Definitely, an underrated success story for this area, because I know that we helped you, Duco, kind of build your website, but your business, your e-commerce business, you're trading internationally, and I don't know, you might well, I don't know if you're just over the 18 months now, but it might be worth speaking to Digital City, because you're doing some great stuff there, and I hope all well with you. Carol, yeah, you're from the Light Health Therapy Centre. Again, it'd be great to have you in on talking to us about what you're doing. Howard's given some details there about the Federation of Small Businesses. So definitely, if you scroll up through the comments, link in with Howard or give him a chat, because if you're looking for support for your business, they provide, I say, lots of different groups. And they've got fantastic helplines and loads of resources that you can tap into. So definitely worth talking to Howard. Morning, Kath. We've just spoken to you, haven't you, from dog school? So yeah, if you need any training for you, if you've got a dog that's misbehaving, need a bit of training, then Kath is running some sort of video classes and that at the moment. And that's great. And Howard, oh yeah, so you started your session yesterday. You had 30 people attend your meeting yesterday, so yeah, that's great. And he's put the link in as well for the next meeting and next Thursday as well, so thank you for those. Definitely link onto those. They are free networking sessions. That's fantastic. I'm just going to scroll through there. Morning, Helen from Daisy May's Vintage Tea Room. Really good to have you here. And just going through a bit more. Yeah, a couple more people interested in Digital City. We'll pass on your details. I know you put them in the chat there, so we'll put on your details there, Carol. That's fine. Yeah, and Andy, you're going to come and do chat. That's great. Morning, Karen. Thank you very much to have you here as well. Oh, that's quite a lot to get through, and I know there's probably a few more that we've kind of not covered in that. But
Stuart Duckett from the Sustainable Design Studio.
Matt's just telling me off because I've missed that. I always miss a couple. Morning, Stuart. Sorry. So Stuart Duckett from the Sustainable Design Studio in Redcar. So they focus on the design of active buildings and creating sustainable, healthy environments by design. Stuart, you'd be great to bring in and have a chat. You can chat to everybody about what you're doing. And then Andy Mark just said Digital City stuff sounds great. Anyone who's not sure about FSB is well worth looking into. Howard as well. That's great. Thank you very much for that comment. We have kind of run out of time, and Sue was going to be scheduled to talk today. She's not been able to make it, and to be fair, we have used all our time up here, so we'll just get her back. We'll reschedule that for next month, hopefully. But if you do want to get in touch with Sue from the Department of International Trade Northeast, or a bit disappointed that she hasn't spoken today, then just let me know, and I can pass on your details, or I can pass on her details. So if you want to get a chat to go in there straight away. We know it's a tough time right now, but we really hope today has been useful and helpful. I think it's been a fantastic presentation of Digital City and got some people thinking about the businesses. Please let us know who you'd like to see presenting in the next coming months, what type of advice that you're looking for, and if you'd like to talk about how your business has adapted to current challenges, you can message us just on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, go to our website, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com, or you can email us redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork@gmail.com. Just want to say thank you again to all our guests today. Michael Spain from the Business Growth team at Redcar Cleveland Business Council. Also to Scott Watson and David Dixon from Digital City. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you found it interesting. I know it's a tough month ahead. But keep on in there, and hopefully look forward to welcoming you to the next event in February. To keep an eye on our socials and on our website for details of the next event. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good day ahead.